To the channel. Today I'm doing a 90-day or 3-month review of my home server that is using Storj and ScPrime. So I'm going to go ahead and log right into it. If we start by looking at the data for the past 24 hours, we can see that Storj has actually been picking up a lot versus ScPrime that has picked up 8 gigabytes, as you can see. We can just extend this a little bit, and then maybe if we look at the past month here, we can it's just loading. Let's just let it load. It takes some time to fetch all the data, but we can clearly see that since my last video, Storj has actually been picking up a lot more data than it used to, and I think this is simply because I have been vetted on 3 satellites now, and I will actually show you in a minute. We can actually start by that while it's fetching some data. So as you can see here, I am vetted on EU1 and on US1 and US2, which is actually really good. That means my node is able to receive pretty much as much data as everyone else, which I'm quite happy about. So if we look right here, we can see that Storj has actually downloaded 338 gigabytes, that's a lot, quite a lot, and it has uploaded 145 gigabytes, while ScPrime has only downloaded 185 gigabytes and uploaded 5.6 gigabytes. So Storj is definitely getting me more data. But if we look at the earnings now, oh, and by the way, this is what my server looks like. Here it is. As you can see, it's quite rubbish or cheap, as you can say, but it clearly gets the job done, which I'm quite satisfied about. So yeah, it works. Now that you've seen it, let's look at the earnings. So let me just refresh to make sure this is the newest data available. And as you can see, last month I got 47 SCP, which is equivalent to, let's just have a look, SCP to USD. We should just have a look at how much one is worth. Oops, wait, let me just get the automatic calculator here instead. That's a lot faster. So 27.1 last month was about $13. Now, the reason I was paid this much is because of incentives. And if you don't know what that is, you might want to go look on SCP's website. But basically, incentives is like a bonus that they are paying out at this moment because you are early on. And this month's incentives was actually even larger because this was the release month of the Vegas Vegas presentation that happened in Las Vegas, where the team announced the product and were ready to look for some customers. So that is actually really good. So far this month, I've made 5, almost 4.5 SCP, and it's the 5th of May today. So if we look at the chart here, that will be about $2. Which I think it's decent actually. I think it will be pretty decent in the upcoming month as well. Now if we look at the Storj dashboard here, let me just refresh to make sure I have the latest data. The used bandwidth for this month has been 81 gigabytes, but egress has been 25, which is actually pretty good, and ingress has been 56. And that is this month. And if we look here, you can see that I'm using a total of 300 gigabytes, sorry. While on this one, it's 377. And the reason for that is because a lot of the data actually gets deleted on the Storj node. And I would assume that's because people take it on and off, just like we use files on our own computers, which is fine. It just means that there's normal user usage, which is generally just pretty great, honestly. And then as you can see here, let's look at the payout info. As you can see, I am estimated to make about $2 this month, which is not very much, but of course I don't have that much data. But the most I make money for is actually egress, because I am uploading the data back to the network. And then there's of course the disk average, but that is set to increase over time as you get more and more nodes, obviously. But yeah, that was pretty much my update on the Storj and ScPrime experiment. I'm gonna keep making these videos every now and then, and if you want to keep seeing them, you should maybe like or subscribe, and I will definitely try to make more. If you would like to, leave a comment if you have any questions or anything you would like me to answer. I do actually monitor my server very frequently, so if you have any ongoing questions, I will be looking in the comments for sure. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Goodbye, guys.